Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It's Ashley with Level Up English, and today we are going to do a wonderful lesson on phrasal verbs using the word take. I've chosen to do this lesson because phrasal verbs form a very important part of speaking for our native English speakers, and as an English learner you will benefit greatly from phrasal verbs because they will help you to sound more fluent. Let's start by answering the following question. What are phrasal verbs? In a simple way of speaking, we can say that they are idiomatic phrases consisting of a verb and another element, like an adverb. They can sound very similar to idioms. So today we are going to look at 10 phrasal verbs using the word take. You will be surprised to learn that even though all these phrasal verbs have the word take, they all have completely different meanings. So without further ado, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Our first one is take off. So pay careful attention because this phrasal verb has different meanings itself, depending on its sentence. First, it refers to an aircraft, like an aeroplane or a helicopter leaving the ground. So when an aeroplane leaves the ground and starts to fly, we can say the plane took off. The second meaning refers to a business succeeding. If your business suddenly becomes popular or successful, we can say, my business took off after many months of hard work. And finally, we use take off to ask someone to remove an item of clothing. Example, please take off your shoes. Just like take off, the phrasal verb take in has a number of meanings too. It can mean to allow someone to stay with you. Example, we decided to take in some stray cats. This means that we decided to allow some stray cats to live with us. It also means to be deceived by something, or rather to be fooled by something. If you are taken in by something or someone, you may have a false impression of that someone or something. Example, she was taken in by the handsome man. And finally, it can also mean to absorb. Example, if I were to take in the information from this video, I would be absorbing that information or learning that information. Next, we have take over. This means to begin to do something that someone else was already doing. If you take over something from someone else, you will continue to do what someone else was doing while they stop what they were doing. Example, if you are cooking and I take over, then you will stop cooking while I do the cooking that you were doing before. It is also possible to take over as something, like a manager at a job. Example, Jack took over as manager after Anna retired. Our fourth one for the lesson is take back. Now we are going to look at 3 ways the phrasal verb take back can be used. It can mean to take something that you have bought back to the shops because it is broken or it is not suitable for you. Example, I need to take back my new t-shirt because it does not fit me. It can also mean to accept someone again after they have left a relationship or a job and they want to return to it. Example, I decided to take back our manager after she resigned because she was a good worker and needed a job again. It can be used to admit that something you said to or about someone was wrong. Example, I had to take back what I said about her family. Next, we have take out. Take out can be used to talk about removing something from a pocket, a bag, and so on. Example, I had to take out my bus ticket. So maybe my bus ticket was in my bag and I had to remove it from my bag so that I could use it. It can also mean to take someone to a restaurant, the movies, or some sort of public place. Example, I'm going to take her out for lunch. And finally, in a more formal way, it can be used to talk about killing someone or destroying something. Example, they had to take out their enemy. This means that they had to kill their enemy. Our sixth one is take after. This is one of the more simple ones because it just has one meaning and it means to look or behave like an older relative. Example, I take after my mom, or I take after my dad. Maybe it means I look like them or I behave like them. It depends on the context of the conversation. Next, we will look at take down. The most common use of take down is to write something down, like writing down some notes or information. Example, I need to take down the notes of this English lesson. It can also be used to mean to remove something. Example, they took down the billboard of the car. Or I had to take down my post from social media. Next, we have take up. The most common way of using take up is to describe starting something new. Example, I plan to take up soccer next year. This means I plan to start playing soccer next year. And it is usually used to talk about starting a new habit or a new hobby. Example, I wouldn't say I plan to take up work tomorrow. It's not correct. But I would use it to talk about starting something new. Take up is also used to talk about filling up an amount of space or time. Example, I don't want to take up too much of your time. And finally, it is used to accept an offer or a challenge. Example, we decided to take him up on his offer. I told you guys that there were many ways to use take in phrasal verbs, but we are almost at the end of this lesson. Number 9 is take on. It can be used to talk about employing new staff. Example, we plan to take on more staff members in the new year. It can also be used to accept work or to accept responsibility. Example, I can't take on any new work at the moment. And finally, it can be used to compete against someone or something. Example, I decided to take her on when she told me she was going to get me fired. Or we are going to take on ABC company for the new contract. And our final one for today's lesson is take away. We are going to look at 3 ways that we can use the phrasal verb take away. 1, to remove something. Example, they took away my license, so I can't drive. 2, it can be used to talk about buying food from a restaurant and eating it somewhere else. Example, we ordered Indian food to take away. And finally, it means to get a piece of information or a message from something. Example, what I took away from this lesson is that there are many ways that take can be used in phrasal verbs. And that brings us to the end of today's English lesson. In our lesson today, we looked at 10 different phrasal verbs using the word take. Now, I would just like to add that some of these phrasal verbs did have more functions, but I chose to speak about the 3 main functions because I did not want to overwhelm you with information. If you have any questions about these phrasal verbs or how else you can use them, then please reach out to me in the comments below and I will be more than happy to assist you. Thank you for your time today, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button and follow me on Facebook and Instagram for more English learning content. This is Ashley with Level Up English signing out. See you next time. Goodbye.